Hello, this is Adam at NowGamer.
This is Paul. Welcome to the third episode of Indecent Exposure, where we introduce you to some indie games that you might not have heard of. The first game that we're looking at is Invisible Ink.
Invisible Ink, yes.
Yeah, I've been playing a bit of it, but you've played more of it than me, so if you want to...
It was previously known as Incognito, so maybe some Incognita even. So maybe some people know it by that name. It's from Klei, the guys who made Don't Starve,
Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja, Eeps, you might not have heard of. It's a fairly small known puzzle game. But this is a turn-based stealth game. You've played a little bit, Paul, so you can chip in if you have something to say. But it's quite interesting because it's very typically tactics RPG style system where you'll have a set of turns, set of points you can use, you can move, you can attack in a single turn. But the objective is to try and stay hidden and be a little bit more stealthy. And it's interesting in that sense because it doesn't really give you much in the way of power or tools. You just kind of have to sneak around. There are different ways of playing it. You can play it more aggressively, you can play it more stealthily.
But you can level up and get more abilities, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of it's intended to be more of a roguelike. So in that sense, you start off at level 1. I think they have patched it since I last played it, but you played it most recently. And you have 2 spies you send into a particular type of office or a security location. And the objective is simply you have to just get to the exit, which is usually an elevator shaft or something. And how you do that is up to you. You can go from point to point, scanning doors and using electronics to hack various things, and you can get more cash for safes and things like that. So you can then use that to upgrade and buy extra items. So it's very, very gradual progression, and there are objectives later on. And it's really about seeing how far you can go with a small team. You can get more people in your team. It's really actually an interesting system. I don't know what you think about it, Paul, but
yeah, it's a weird mix because I expected it to be like mission based, but that kind of rogue-like thing mixed with turn-based strategy is kind of an odd one. But I mean, obviously this is an alpha at the moment, so it's something that they're still developing.
But even still, I would say, as it is now, it's still a really solid RPG. And if you like that kind of thing, you want something different, I would definitely recommend picking this up.
Yeah, well, if people are interested, I'll put a link for their website, which is where you can get into the alpha. It's $16.99, so I'll put that in there. So have a look if you're interested.
Yeah, if you buy it through there, they'll send you a Steam code. Or I think you can download it as well, so you don't have to worry about using DRM if that's something you care about. Now, this next one is a puzzle game called Fract, officially Fract OSC. But I haven't really played this one. It's more of a Paul puzzle game type thing. So go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, so it's a puzzle game that's based around music and exploration. So it looks really cool. It's kind of Tron-like almost. And you get dropped in. It's very light on explanation as to what you're meant to do. So... Well, it has no explanation of what you're meant to do, so you dropped in and you just have to walk around and try and figure things out for yourself. It's got like a synthesizer in a hub, and basically what I've realised through playing it is that as you solve puzzles, you unlock elements for the synthesizer, so you can make your own sort of music in it. That's okay. The idea. But the actual game is going from place to place, finding puzzles and then solving those puzzles, and that will kind of build up a soundtrack as you solve the puzzles. So it even starts off as like a silent world, and then you're building up this music as you're solving the puzzle. So it's quite a cool idea. It's quite difficult to at first sort of get into because, as I say, it doesn't tell you what to do.
One of the things about this is that the puzzles can be solved in your own way, though. Is that right?
To an extent, obviously there are certain conditions you have to meet to solve the puzzle, but as I understand it, there are variations as to how you can get to that point, and that you're creating sounds as you're solving the puzzle, so what you come out of at the end of it might not necessarily be the same as somebody else, even though you've both solved the puzzle, if you see what I mean. I found it a bit difficult sometimes, and sometimes I wasn't even sure if I'd solved the puzzle or not. But I think there's going to be people that absolutely love this game. People, who want to spend time like playing with the synthesizer and stuff like that. And as I say, it looks really cool, and it is satisfying when you do solve the puzzles once you work out. But it's just one of those things you just have to play with the world and work out for yourself.
Who would you say this appeals to then? Is it a puzzle game? Is it, I don't know, is it an exploration game?
It's all those elements. I mean, it's a puzzle game, an exploration game, but it's not. If you're into sort of narrative adventure games, definitely not that type of thing. As I said, it's got that music element, so people, I don't know, maybe people who like Rez and stuff like that might be into it. But yeah, it's a cool game. It's worth having a look at.
And this is out now, yeah?
This is out now, yeah. It's $10.99 on Steam.
Cool, that's Fract OSC.
Right, our last game for this episode is There Shall Be Lancing.
Now, this is a good one because me and Paul, we argue about this one. Because I say there shall be Lancing.
Lancing.
The thing is, we also discovered that Sophie Holden, the developer of this game, is also from Cumbria. So I'm expecting it's going to be There Shall Be Lancing. So if Sophie watches this, then please let us know because it's a very important topic. It might actually be the end of Nalgam. Yeah. Anyway, it's basically two-player local co-op. I suppose dueling. Well, not co-op, local multiplayer dueling game.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got a single-player mode, but it's definitely best played for multiplayer.
Yeah, like Nidhogg, you don't play that in single player.
Exactly. Yeah, so to describe how it works, I mean, you've got two characters on either side of the screen, and you can attack on various axes, I suppose. Is what you would
one of
say.
8 axes, I think.
Yeah, and then you can block that attack. As you've got 4 bars underneath your character, and the more bars that are full, the quicker your attacks are. So obviously, the harder it is to block. So it's kind of this little thing where you're both waiting to see who moves first.
It's actually really good for that. There's a surprising amount of strategy to it. You can also you have 2 shots you can fire, and so it's kind of trying to second guess your opponent and figure out what they'll be doing next. And if you try and attack on the first bar, which is the slowest attack, it's going to be easily blocked. You block it by basically moving the thumbstick in the same direction as the attack is coming from. It's really kind of a good set of mind games involved.
Yeah, I mean it's as you can obviously see, it's sort of early on in development, so this is one that's still being worked on. So there's only this one area that the battles take place in, and there's a few characters there, but I suspect there's a lot more to come there in terms of how it looks and so on. But I think it's a really cool sort of core idea. Yeah,
the core mechanics they're solid. I mean, they might need a little bit of refining, but I still think like what we played was still a lot of fun.
I really like that element of the time and sort of because it just makes you sort of wait.
There's a bit at the start of every match where you're waiting to get kind of the third or the fourth speed attack, the fourth one being the fastest, and it's kind of you want to kind of know whether they're going to attack first or you're going to attack first. Obviously, it charges at the same speed, but you have to figure that out and try and guess their strategy ahead of time. Yeah. It's good for that. It's good.
But yeah, and as I say, it'd definitely be worth one to keep an eye on because it looks shaping up to be quite cool, I think.
Yeah, that's There Shall Be Lancing.
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 Lancing.